Hello and welcome. This is Ageless John, and today I would like to talk about making videos. Now, this video is made specifically for those who want to make videos for YouTube or other online venues. I'm going to use YouTube as in my example because, to be frank, it's quite easy and very popular. And this video is made using Windows 10, but you can use earlier versions of Windows. All it really requires is that you have a computer with Windows on it and the ability to have a microphone. Once you have that, you have the ability to make videos. Windows Movie Maker is free. It comes included with Windows. It's not free. There's a small difference. But once you have Windows, you have access to Windows Movie Maker. So you can download that. I'm using Windows 10. Even though it does not come with Windows 10, you are able to get it. All right, so in here I want to talk about the different audio tracks. This is the narrator track. There are actually two different tracks. Go ahead and the overview and see the aspects of it. I suggest you use music only in the beginning. And if you need to layer really badly, you can use it. And then the video also has its own audio and aspects in there. And you can look here under video tools and edit. My personal suggestion and my personal usage is I use the music in the beginning, and then I use the narrator tool throughout the rest of the video as much as possible. You will find out when using the music tool that it behaves oddly. It doesn't lay down on the tracks like you think it would. The narrator tool, however, behaves very well, and you can place it pretty much exactly where you want to. Another thing you need to be aware is when you add transitions are going to mess up all your audio tracks universally. So make sure you have all your video transitions done before you put down any extra audio. Another interesting thing I want to show you about this is the project usually has the emphasis on the narrator and not the video. If you change it to the video, it'll be much louder audio on the video. Also, if you want to universally turn up the audio sound, it usually doesn't have any negative effects on the video. So I go into here, I go to Edit, select one of your video slides, and then select all. Now, if you do it on a slide, like that image, it won't do anything because there's no audio on to turn up. And then just go select all, use the slider, and turn up all your audio on your video at the same time. And this will give you a much louder audio on your video. For some reason, Movie Maker emphasizes narrator and the video sounds tends to be very quiet. Another thing I want to talk about is transitions or animations it's called in Movie Maker. I always use the crossfade. Now, you don't always have to, but if you do that and then you can just go in here, choose a whole bunch of different varieties. I will usually put it on one slide and then hit the Apply All button, and that'll apply across the entire video selection. And you can also change the transition duration. Now, if you do the Apply All, it will put 150 on every single slide, unless you manually change it on this button. Captions are going to allow you to put words over images. Now, there's other things that you can look here that are tools. I'm not going to talk about those because I just use the Add Captions. And it's very much like a text editor. You just go in there and put whatever word you want. That's tutorial in all caps, tutorial in lower caps. And you can pretty much do anything with this you would with your normal text editor. Move it around, change the fonts to anything you want, even custom fonts. Let's look for something a little bolder. All right. Then that actually makes it all bold across even the unbolded letters. So yeah, there it is. So there's different effects you can also apply to your text, like the fade in I'll use a lot, the spinny things. There's a whole bunch of different effects, transitions that you can use. You can also use this, which will give it an outline, and then you can go in and later change the color. So yeah, there's a lot of customization with that caption that you can use. Other tools that I use Audacity. I'll leave a link below. It's a open source program that you can use to record your audio. Now, there are tools within Movie Maker to record, and frankly, I don't like them. I don't use them. So I use Audacity because it has a whole lot of options available. If you have a very staticky mic, Audacity has a filter on it that you can use, and there are a lot of online tutorials on how to do that, to take the snap, crackle, pop in the background sounds out of Audacity. So I use Audacity because it makes my mic sound a lot better when I clean it up. For stills and slides, I use Google Drive because Google Drive has on it one of these PowerPoint-like presentation programs that you can create really cool slides with. There are a lot of open source slide programs that you can download and use, but I find them to be a little bit more limited and a lot less portable. So what I do is I use Google Overdrive, and it works fine for me and what I need it to do. Another tool that I will use is the Windows Snipping tool. There are a lot of other tools out there similar to this, but I just use this because it comes with Windows, and it's easy to use. You just take it, select an area, and boom, bam, you got a cool little image. Another tool I will use is Gimp, and I simply pasted right out of that snippet program this little image. And so I'm going to go into tools. One of the things I often find out is I need a new toolbox because it often disappears. So I'll get that, or Control B, open up. And a tool that I use a lot is the Select Wand. And I'll just click on that. The threshold on here is turned way up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the red and replace it with black. So I've selected pretty much all the red with that tool. And you can click on different areas in order to get different colors selected. And now that I've got it selected, I'm going to use this other tool, this paint drawing tool. Well, that's a little big. And I'm going to paint the selected area, which is all red, black, just like that. Well, of course, I've got to get rid of that little bitty piece right there. So I'll go back up to here. It's a little too much. I'm going to have to turn this down just a tad. And this is quick and dirty, and I would refine it a little bit if I were doing this for my personal use. This is just an example of how easy it is to do. So there it is, and that's quick and easy. You got yourself a different change. You export, don't save as, export. And I always save as PNG. You should start learning to use that format. And then when you go back, you've got a different version of YouTube logo to use wherever you want to. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And I use that a lot. And it's Gimp. And I'll put the link below for Gimp so that you can find it. And there's a lot of online tutorials available for that program as well. For music, I'll just go to the audio library and now filter for attribution or duration. Attribution is cool because you can do attribution not required. That way you don't have to do any extra typing. And it'll just show you all the free to use soundtracks that you can use on your videos free just by downloading as an MP3 and putting them onto your videos. I use this quite a bit. Another cool to use function is the sound effects. You just go in here and you can click, like I'm going to search for wind. And it's going to show you everything with the associations of wind. So you can get sound effects for your videos as well here. The sound effects aren't that great, but they're free and they're out there for you to use on YouTube. So another cool feature. All right, another thing I want to show you is how I get a lot of my images. It's Google again. What I'll do is I'll go into Google and then I'll do a search for the image that I'm interested in. Let's say flowers. Flowers. Okay, and it'll bring up, your regular search. I'll switch over to images and then I'll do a search tool, usage rights, license for use with modification or one of the others, but I use this one. And then, large is what I usually use, and I'll just select an image. And these have been indicated that they're free to use. So you just right-click, copy image, and then I can paste directly into my Overdrive presentation program, and I'll have an image background available to be used on my videos. It's pretty cool. So far, we've been talking about all production stuff. Now I want to talk a little bit about post-production things after you've created your video. Another service that I use is Video IQ, which I have associated with my Chrome, which I don't use for anything but this one function because I can get the video tags off of popular videos and just copy. And then you can go into a text file or a notepad is what I use. And I'll just paste. And then you can use that in the links of your YouTube video for more hits on your video. And I have to warn you, though, Video IQ tracks you quite effectively. So it doesn't cost you anything, but it's not free. Next, I want to talk about recompressing your video. When you make the movie using Movie Maker, it has horrible compression rates. Your video is going to end up being very big. So I would suggest using something, and I'm using Handbrake in this example, to convert it to another smaller size video of the same type. With Handbrake, optimal video quality and optimized video are the two important buttons I use. Those are the only things I really ever mess with, and it works fine for me. So you're thinking to yourself, well, that's kind of silly, recompressing a compressed file. But let's look at it. When I convert it, it goes from 2 to 1. So it reduces the size of the file by over 50%. And that means savings of time, which is very important. When I'm uploading to YouTube, it takes a very long time. My communications with the internet is relatively fast, but not that fast. And when I'm uploading a file this big, it can take an hour or more to upload a huge file. But when I reduce it using Handbrake, it cuts the time down drastically to less than 30 minutes for a 20-minute video, which is important. This has been H with John talking about how I make my videos and giving you tips and suggestions on how to do it for free, basically, if you have Windows. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you around.